Hey everybody, it's TJ from the Mac Attack. If you could like, comment, or subscribe below, it'd truly help us out. Before we dive into today's episode, we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Hope Advising, the HR outsourcing service that helps teams thrive. Ready to unlock your leadership potential? Check out Live Style, the personality assessment that goes beyond labels. It's designed to build stronger teams, improve communication, and help you lead with real confidence. Live Style, more than an assessment, it's a leadership game changer. Learn more at www.hopeadvising.com and take your team to the next level with Hope Advising. Hello, everybody. My name is TJ. This is my brother Jack here. We're here to discuss some Mid-American Conference football. The two of us together, we come together to make the Mac Attack. We're here to bring football to you, whether you are in the area or around the country. We want to entice those fans to come and listen to us and hear what we got to say. A little bit about me. I'm a huge college football fan. Personally, I'm a Purdue fan, but I've been inspired really with the latest social media dealings through the Raccoon to kind of take a deeper dive into the MAC conference and um, getting a little bit more history into it and understanding what's going on around the atmosphere here. And I really just wanted to try and amp up the volume of kind of the attention that comes to the MAC. It seems like it's little old MAC around here in Big Ten country, but there's a lot of spotlight to be had here as well. So we just want to bring the voice to the voiceless, if you want to say that. But we're here to do that for y'all. All right, I'm gonna take you over to my brother Jack.
Nice to meet you guys. I'm TJ's brother. My name is Jack Potchka, and a little bit about me. I'm also a Purdue guy. Also, I also love Ball State as well. Love going to Ball State games. I've been to a lot um, last year, and I just love, just the atmosphere. It doesn't matter if it's like a small or not even a big atmosphere. Like it's still a good atmosphere. The Mac is still a good atmosphere. Um, I just love the game. You know, just the game. You know, it seems like, the Mac doesn't really get the spotlight it doesn't really deserve. And and
Or
we
it
hope
does
that,
deserve,
or it does deserve,
sir.
but we really do want to change that. And so,
No, absolutely. Our sister goes to Ball State. We like to give a shout out to Addie.
yeah,
I think she's going into her second year there, so I'm looking
second
forward
year
to
there.
getting down there to the campus.
Yeah.
We'll be heading to the Purdue Ball State game, of course, but more with a neutral mind now. We're Purdue through and through, but um, we want to put the Mac on our shoulders now too, and put it on our arm, wear it proud. So without further ado, here we're kind of going to give you a breakdown here of how we're going to run the podcast. So we've got about 26, 25 and a quarter days until the college football season starts. So just to get us prepared for what we're all about to endure, we're going to preview some of the teams. We found it fitting and fun because who wants to have fun on a Monday? We need it. We figured we go in alphabetical order here. So without further ado, we'd like to talk about the Akron Zips. Jack, what do you think these Akron Zips are going to look like this year?
Yeah, pretty good question. So when you look at the departures, you had a quarterback, so Tajay Bullock that, transferred to Colorado State. Um, Pretty dynamic quarterback there. Um, and then you also lose your running back, Jordan Simmons, and he actually committed to an SEC school. He committed to Ole Miss, and I think they're going to use him a lot there for sure in the backfield.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Lane Kiffin's got a hidden gem there.
but yeah, I think they're gonna let him hit the gym there, and also let other people hit the gym. But then you lose a lot of people. Obviously, the big name is the defensive end. CJ Newry, went to the Big Ten. Um, but you add some, additions, right? You add in Michael Johnson Jr., you know, he was a backup last year. He's from Syracuse. So going into that ACC environment, learning, um, he could probably potentially probably be the starter, honestly, in my opinion. And then they get a receiver from Fresno State and Tim Greer, and also looks like he might be a deep coverage guy.
Yeah,
Um,
they got the veteran Marcel Williams as well.
yeah. So it might help the receiving core. I'm not too sure yet, but we'll just have to see.
I
The
hope
big
so.
but a big name that I found is Cyrus Durham from Arizona. Defensive end, big dude. Um, I think you should watch out for him. He's going to cause some problems.
Yeah,
He's going
he's
to
got
cause a
one
lot
of
of
those
problems.
bodies. You walk down a dark hallway, you see him, you get some of the oogie boogies.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude's a scary guy.
Yeah, he's a very scary guy. Very scary guy. Oh my goodness.
No, absolutely. I'm looking forward to their new kicker as well. They have Adam Samaha coming in from North Carolina. I'm looking forward to that. I
Yeah.
think Bill Belichick kind of lost a good one there, and um,
Yep.
it's always good to shore up your special teams and make sure that you have your guy there, someone you can count on. So I definitely understand that. But no, that's good. Looking back to the 2024 season, um, they just had some unfortunate heartbreaks. They've had some key players getting injured, and that really kind of told the tale for the season. They kind of just lost a bunch of games towards the end where those gaps that could have been full from the departed players really could have played a part in helping securing a win there.
Right. Yeah.
So really looking forward to the Akron Zips trying to get better here. Just they just got to keep pushing forward. Unfortunately, they have the ineligible bowl eligibility going on as well, and that can be a real heartbreaker. But excuse me, there can still be a lot to win in a season that um, you don't get to make a bowl. Look at us Purdue fans. We're going 1-11. Uh, so yeah. What do you think, Jack? You think they can still gain some things from the season, or you think it's all a wash here?
Yeah, I think they're going to be, they're not going to be, obviously you can't be in the bowl game, not bowl eligible, but I think they're going to be, and sorry to the Akron fans, but I don't think they're going to be like the middle team. I think they're going to be below, like that Michigan teams. Um, but I could see them maybe sneaking in, I think they'll be a little bit better, like 4 to 5 wins scenario. Um, I don't see them winning 6 games this season. Um, they just, they lost a lot of leadership, right? They have a young team. I think they're gonna have a young team. You know, the leadership's not gonna be there.
Yeah.
Um,
You just hope some of those portal guys can step up too.
right.
You got some veteran players in there. Hopefully, they can help Coach Moorhead over there, kind of help deliver in year three. What are some big headlines you see going into the season, Jack?
So early on, non-conference games. You know, there's some games you got to circle. You're playing at Nebraska. So that's kind of a game, to look out for if you're an Akron fan. Um, Obviously, a lot of people are going to say Nebraska is a better team because they're in the Big Ten, but look out for them. You never know how college football, can really be, right?
Hey, there's always one MAC team. Doesn't
Yeah,
have to
there's
be
always
top. Doesn't have to be top or bottom. I mean, prime example last year in Notre Dame. So um, now I may be asking a lot for the Zips, but um, we do like this spot. Nebraska does look to be a formidable foe, but it is kind of a prove it year as well for Dylan Raiola and Scott Frost over there. So
and then even the other games, right? I mean, even like in the conference, like it seems like every year, like this Akron team gets, one big win against a pretty good team in the MAC. So, you could that have going for you. I mean, you could be happy about that. I mean, usually a lot of teams, like even in the bigger conferences, like you don't see them like ever like winning a conference game, even a big conference game. And so, but I mean, just for this Akron group, I mean, you have some potential.
I do like the way their schedule is structured, though.
Yes, me too.
So you get Wyoming at home here. Um, Another formidable foe, but a great test to kind of just see where your strengths at. Great way to open the gates. I love that you get them at home.
Right.
Um, you get the Pokes at home. Moorhead should be able to draw up some special things there, and even with that Nebraska too, like you said, they should be able to pull off some plays. These non-conference games are really going to be really going to be a good test for them to kind of draw up some special things for them to kind of close the gap in the conference.
And I'm looking at one, like speaking of, like the conference games, like I'm circling one game that October 11th versus Miami, Ohio. It's a home game.
Oh yeah,
Um, they've beaten them, 2 years in a row, right? They beat them in 2023 and 2024. And Miami, Ohio, they're projected to be a top three team in the conference.
yeah.
So that could be a miracle right there.
You're calling it a miracle?
Calling it a miracle.
Heard that? No, absolutely. And they did have the 3 or 4 games last year where their games are only decided by what 3 or 4 points. So
Yeah,
you stack those this year. Coach Moorhead's looking at building something here, uh, really for this season, but next season as well. You can get some great progress here. Season's not a loss. You still have your pride to work for, absolutely.
of course.
But I'm definitely looking forward to it. All right, Jack, do you want to go through the season projections and we can go down the list here and kind of see how they stack up against these teams here.
Yeah, for sure. I think my season, prediction, I think they're, like I said before, like I think they're gonna be like a 4 to 5 win team. Right. They're not gonna be just here that. Um, they still got a lot to work with. You lose that leadership and CJ Newmery on that defensive end. I thought they gave him a lot of leadership, on that defense. And they're one of the best defenses probably in the MAC, maybe a top five, but you
Oh,
kind of lose that there. And then the offense, you lose a little bit there as well. Obviously, you lose that running back, so we'll see how, their new running back brings. But yeah, looking at all these games, looking at just, non-conference games, I think it's going to be, I think they're going to struggle. I
yeah.
really do. I think they're going to struggle. Like Wyoming, they got Ben Finley. I just think Akron's going to struggle right there. I know it's a home game. Everybody's going to be excited, whatever. But I just think Wyoming's a better team. And then you go to a Big Ten school in Nebraska, um, and I just think they're going to lose again. Like,
Got a feeling they're going to get a real big feeling of the Big Red.
yeah, real big feeling of the Big Red. That's for sure. That's for sure. And then at UAB, um, they were pretty solid last year. UAB was in that group of five. I see them losing here. It could be a close game. Could go down to the wire. If not, maybe two scores. But
Yeah.
I do see UAB pulling this off at home. And then week four, they get an FCS school in Duquesne. No, I don't think nobody really knows who that is. Not even me. So I think they take that win, and it's a home game. Obviously, I think they win that one. And then their first conference game at Toledo, and I think Toledo is the favorite to win the conference.
Yeah.
I think they're going to drop that. Um, I think it's their offense. It's going to be chaos. Like I just don't think it could be in the middle. It could be just not good. I don't see him being a top, you know, offensive team in the MAC. And then Central Michigan, it's a home game there. I think it's going to be a pretty close game for them, but I do think Central Michigan's going to pull it off late. Um, but then versus Miami, Ohio, right? October 11th. You beat them 2023 and 2024. Okay. I'm gonna go Akron wins here. They're gonna win again 2025. They've actually been pretty good against Miami, Ohio at home. So I think they win that one. And then they're at Ball State October 18th. Um, Ball State's going to probably be that bottom half of that team or that tier, excuse me, you know, but I'm actually going to think they drop it. I think they dropped this one.
Do ya?
I'm going to say they dropped this one.
I can imagine as well. I mean, Ball State's going to be a pretty heavily tested team by then. They can get a lot of improvements as well. I do know they do have a good transfer from Purdue, Jordan King, and I know he's going to start up there in the front line, and they're kind of creating a new culture down there too.
Yeah.
The process about his
Jordan Kane is going to be an animal up there.
so
So look out for that. Ball State. Um, yeah, I just don't see Akron. I think it'll be close, but I think Ball State, just that atmosphere, you know. But then at Buffalo, that's going to be probably a
I think
tough
it'll be
game.
a test. I have Buffalo as my number one pick for the conference.
Yeah, and we'll talk about them later too,
Yeah,
right? But I don't know. I think it's going to be, a close game. I'm going to say it's a close game. It's at Buffalo. You got to give them credit. It seems like, when they're playing these top schools like Buffalo or Miami, Ohio,
yeah.
like or etc. It's always kind of like a grinded out game for them.
Wait, they wake up to play.
They wake up to play. We'll see what the coaching staff brings, but I don't know. I'm going to say it's going to be a close one, but I'm going to say they lose in a very close game. It's going to be a close game. They're both teams are going to fight, whatever, but I think it's going to be a very close game. And then you take on UMass November 4th. UMass is going to be probably that bottom half, maybe second to worst team,
Yeah, I
and I think they're going to win that one.
think they'll show up a minute too late.
But hear me out. UMass was a 2-10 team, like, and then they joined, and then now they're here in the MAC. They're not
Again,
going to do nothing. Yeah, again, like come on.
they had a previous 8-40 stunt with the Mac, and
Yeah,
um, I mean, we welcome them back. I hope they can get another team in to get that even 14, but
right.
we,
Right.
we, we do welcome UMass back.
We welcome UMass. Congratulations to UMass for sure.
Yep,
Coming back.
get 2-10.
Yeah. Two yeah, you get 2-10. Good job. Congratulations. But then but then you should feel happy about the win, right? Because they play Kent State. All right, November 11th
Rock
at home.
me, mama, like a wagon wheel.
Yeah, that's my favorite song. My favorite country song. All right. They won it in 2023 and 2024. Like Kent State last year didn't even win a single game, DJ. They didn't win a single game.
No,
Worst, they had the worst defense in the FBS. They allowed 44 points. 44 points. That's unbelievable.
it is to the Zips.
No, overall, like overall.
44 points.
Yes, 44 points.
Mm, that's it.
That's it. And that's the worst. That's like last in
That's
FBS.
it's like last.
Yeah, that's like dead last in FBS. If you count how many schools, 300 schools,
They're 300.
they're 300. So I think they win that one. I think they blow them out too. I think they blow them out. I'd be surprised if it's a close game. Then Akron's got some work to do. But I think it's going to be a blowout.
You got a Bowling Green.
And then with Bowling Green, I think Bowling Green is going to be, that middle team. We'll talk about them later as well. But I don't know. It's at Bowling Green. I think they're going to be that, top five, like five-ish team, maybe outside the top three. But I do think they dropped this one. I do think they dropped the game
Putting them at what, 5-8
4-8,
or 4-8? Excuse me. Yeah,
4-8. I
right
think
back at it.
they improved from last year a little bit. They obviously you lose that leadership on the defensive side and the offense.
Yeah,
So I have them at 4-8.
no, for sure. I mean, really need the new wide receiver core to get them up to 24 at least more. They need some improvement there because you got to
Yeah,
get points on the board. They were very one dimensional last year, and that one dimension was shaded.
yeah,
Um, so hopefully the new additions can help. They still need to figure out who's going to take over at running back, Taven Curry or Chris Gee, but they're going to have some shoes to fill, 1,000%.
yeah. And then Taven Curry coming from Marshall, right? Marshall, like they were kind of mixing schemes up or whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think he'll probably be the starter. Um, because their running back last year was pretty decent, in my
hmm
opinion. He was pretty decent, but I don't think their running back is going to be that great. They're not going to have the best running back this year.
yeah. But hey, if their defense can hold, because they did have some good bright spots on defense last year, especially in the secondary. They
Yeah,
had some good pieces back there. Uh, and if they can hold and they can get some better quarterback play from Michael Johnson, I think if they really wanted to, they can get up to 5 or even 6 wins. Unfortunately, it won't get you bowl eligible.
yeah,
Unfortunately, it is a rebuilding season, but you
yeah.
can,
Rebuilding
but
year.
but you rack up some of those wins, especially after the APR ban, you can really spark some urgency. You
Yeah,
know, Coach Moorhead can look back at his teammates and say, "Hey, look what we've done here now. Let's just get better."
Right.
I think that's going to be, I think that's what they're going to fight for. It's just obviously it's old coach talk, get better every day.
Yeah,
Next day is
but
a good day, but
yeah,
I really think Akron here can sneak in a good winning mark here. Uh, Unfortunately, I don't know the intricacies of the coaching aspect versus the player grades too well. I do know that there's a heavy hand, I'm sure. Um, and I'm sure there could be some questions about that on Moorhead's job security, but I think you could squash it with this season. I mean, the way the schedule's broken down, how we've listed it out, um, does the non-conference suck? Yes, it does. But you're a MAC school; it's going to suck. You got to make best of, with what you got. You've got some strong opponents here, so if you can make do with Wyoming, get within 2 scores there. If you can show some flashes at Nebraska, keep UAB within 10, 15 points, and just maul Duquesne. That'll be some good motivation to going into your to home state of Toledo.
yeah, for sure.
So you've got the games you're supposed to win. Now, can you sneak in a couple more?
Yeah, so I actually made a mistake. Ben Ben Finley, um, comment on me if I made this huge mistake, but he's actually the Akron quarterback, not the Wyoming quarterback. So I kind of made a mistake there. Um, but I
Comment
looked at
F's
his
in
tape.
the chat, boys.
Yeah,
And
but Ben Finley is an experienced quarterback, I'm sure. But it's just the MAC conference is too tough for me. It just is. It's always, some good teams, in the mix. But you got to give him credit though, right?
yeah,
Right. You talked about the receivers, right? You got to give him upside.
yeah.
Tim Greer Jr., deep coverage guy. That's what they kind of need. Deep coverage. Someone that can go down the field.
If you can get someone down the field to break open the secondary, it
Yeah.
can open up a few lanes for you. So
So I
get
think he'll be wide
sagging
receiver
off to
one
get the
too.
get the
Yeah.
flats open. Get one of your two running backs to start getting some catches, getting some yardage. No, absolutely.
And then Alex Adams too. Like he could be the route runner too. So those will be your two best receivers with Ben Finley. So you got some upside in the weapons. You got some weapons to work with. So I think
Yeah,
got upside there. I think they're going to improve. Yeah, little improvement there on the offense too. I think they'll make some slight improvement. Not by much, obviously, you
yeah.
know, but
No, absolutely. So, well, what do you think, Jack? Who's going to have the most touchdowns this season?
which school you so like which school? So
For Akron, which player do you think is going to have the most touchdowns?
if you're talking about offense or defense,
Defense. This is unfortunate. Okay, this isn't the 44-point Kent State team now, but you know, aside from Michael Johnson Jr. on the offensive side, who do you think's getting the most sixes?
I really don't know. It's kind of a hard conversation. You don't want to always say running backs because running backs are always going to get their scores or whatever. But if I had to pick one, it's got to be Tim Greer Jr. Tim Greer Jr. from
Yep.
Fresno State, from that conference.
Yeah, he
I
showed
mean,
some.
right. You played against Ashton Genty, I'm sure, and that Boise State team,
You think
right?
some of
Boise
it rubbed
State,
off?
yeah. But he scored touchdowns in that conference.
Yeah. No,
So I
absolutely.
think
I think he
so.
he can
Yeah,
definitely be a threat for him. A nice little wrinkle to the offense too. He can catch out of the backfield. He can hit you in between the blocks. So no, absolutely. Well, looks like we're ramping down on our time here, Jack. We just want to talk about our next episode. Um, where we do a deep dive on the Ball State Cardinals.
Yeah, Ball State Cardinals. I've been there so many times. That's actually my second favorite, place to go. I mean, just to have fun there,
Even more than Taco Bell?
even more than Taco Bell. Taco Bell's my
Oh my
number one,
gosh.
yeah, number one fast food restaurant, but I would rather go to a Ball State football game
Yeah.
than
Heard
to go to
tailgating is
Taco
a lot
Bell.
of fun there.
Yeah, their tailgate is just crazy.
And
Tailgate is
great
crazy.
studious students as well.
Yeah, rowdy students, a lot of stuff, just a lot of stuff.
Studious.
Yeah,
Studious.
yeah, studious.
But we're going to do a deep dive on them tomorrow, and we'll do some previews with them and do another game by game breakdown. We want to thank you for taking the chance to listen to us and giving us your time. Currently, this is our first podcast, so we are still in the beginning phases, but we will be getting a Twitter page, being able to interact with you all, and look forward to what this journey embarks upon us and embarks upon you if you choose to ride it with us. So, Jack and I want to thank you. Uh, if you could just comment, like, anything, share us, please. We would really appreciate it. Just let us know below. What are your takes on the Akron Zips? Um, you know, is this season about laying groundwork, even if there's no bowl game? What do you think? Any closing remarks from you, Jack?
Yeah, comment like about the Akron Zips, um, you know, or just comment in general. What's your favorite MAC team?
Yeah,
Um,
we're on the Mac
so
attack.
just we're on the MAC attack. Like TJ said, I mean, this is our very first podcast, and so we're gonna work the best we can. And also if you have questions too, like let us know. We're gonna answer any questions. So. We
Absolutely.
appreciate we really do appreciate the time um watching us or even let us know what we can do better
Yeah,
to help us
we're
out.
open to feedback, good, bad. If you don't like our takes, let us have it. If you like them,
Yeah,
let's have a beer.
let's have a beer.
Happy to have a beer either way.
No, no, for sure. No, win or loss, I'm very happy to have a beer no matter what.
There you go. All righty, all righty. Well, thank you guys. You guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you guys.